Okay. Good morning, everyone there. It's a lovely rainy day here in Mumbai. And while a lot of people enjoy rains, a lot of other people feel very, very upset with rains because of how it impacts their life. So an event, can be taken in a good way by some people, can be taken in other way by another set of people. So that's a very interesting aspect of our life. And today I'll be talking about one such aspect that impacts all of us. And very interestingly, I will just start the screen share here. Uh, it is probably something that's even going on in the people watching live or who are watching this later on YouTube. And that aspect of life is emotions. And as I said, emotions, the event can be same, but the emotions can be different. It's a rainy day, and I may be all, kicked up about it. And for some people, a rainy day might not really be a good idea. So while I begin the session, I would like you all to keep uh, two, three papers and pen with you. There will be one small exercise we will be doing. So just keep that handy. And let's begin with what do I mean by emotions? I mean, so today, because we are talking about detox, obviously you do detox when you're not in a good state. So what are those emotions that actually bring in uh, so this is what we will be covering up today. And the first thing that I really want to talk about, okay, before that, a small introduction about me. I'm Preeti Gandhi, a handwriting influencer and a graphoanalytical therapist. And I have been a seasoned entrepreneur since 1998, have spent in time in IT, in advertising and branding. And things happened in life which made me go back to my childhood passion of graphology. And I started my journey in 2009. Over the years, I realized its impact, its power, its simplicity of the tool. And now I'm truly on a mission to support every individual to lead their life. And when I say lead, it's not just leading, it's leading as a leader. So leading your own life, going towards your own goals and not goals set by someone else, either by society or your partner or your best friend or your children, whatever. So no, it's just going to your goals and through the simple and powerful tool of handwriting and handwriting therapy. And I am always extremely excited to share the knowledge of handwriting because it has changed my life. It has changed life of hundreds of people whom I coach every day. And the the beauty with which the transition happens is something that's a delight for me every single day. And coming back to emotions, like I delight is a very positive emotion. But before I came to this shower of positive emotions, I've gone through a lot of negative emotions, as everyone else in life, because life has its own way of uncovering things for us. So some of the topmost negative emotions that you will find very commonly around is anger. And it is so common, road rage, like raste pe gaadi chal rahi hai, kuch touch ho gaya, ya rickshaw aa gayi, ya cycle aa gaya, and people get down out of the car and they are screaming their heads off. Anger is something that is so commonly seen around. Emptiness, where you find people just sitting alone with sadness on their face. They feel that there's nothing inside them. There's nothing inside them that they can share with others. Frustration of the lifestyle today. Inadequacy, where you feel that you're really not good enough to get your work done. Helplessness. It's like up there, there's nothing else I can do. Like I tried everything, I can't do anything else. Fear, fear. Log kya kahenge? What if I do this? What if I wear this dress? What will people say? What if you know, uh, what if I take this step? What will people accept me if I show up in my authentic self? Guilt is another feeling, where as a woman, as a working woman, guilt, initially is really a part of life where you feel guilty about having to sacrifice certain things at work, to at home, to be able to do things at work. And when you are home, it's like, oh, this work is yet to be done. So there's guilt at both sides. And loneliness. I mean, you may be in a room full of people, you may be smiling, laughing, but inside it just feels so lonely. These are topmost negative emotions. Of course, the emotions are far many, but the topmost that people suffer in one way or the other. And what does these emotions lead to? They lead to emotional and physical tension, which is very, very often expressed as stress. And you will find people, there are many times when I'm in different forums that a lot of people say, because of today's lifestyle, the stress is more. Yeah, maybe it is a little more or less, but stress has been there. I mean, since mankind began. Uh, and I cannot go as far as mankind began, but if I look at the century that we just passed, so if you look at just this century of how, what were the points that people were stressed about when in the 90s, it's probably 1900, it's probably about, will my crop really survive? Will I have enough to feed myself? Will I have enough to feed my family? Will I have enough to barter for something, for some other necessity of mine? Come to 1920s, it's probably, that the British Raj has already started, and children want to get educated in English. And there is this fear, that stress of, what if they study in English? What will happen to my traditional values? What will happen to my culture? And that today it might not seem that big a deal, but even when I was getting my education, there was stress at home. My father was like, she should get education in Gujarati medium. I'm a Gujarati, and my mom had suffered not knowing English, so she was like, no, I'm going to give English education to my child. And there was I mean, trust me, husband wife fighting over education. It was quite stressful. Come independence, and it was like, okay, we have got our independence that we really, really struggled for, but what about the safety of my family during this partition time? And people who have had their, grandfathers, grandmothers of those times, they know what a what a stressful, I mean, stressful is a very small word for that, but how tumultuous that period was for the people, or during that time. Come 1960s, it's about, you getting your daughter married, and the dowry and all the things that come along. And we know how different parts of our country has dealt with daughters getting married. And I will not go into that, because that's a huge subject in itself. But yeah, we have seen a lot of extreme steps being taken, because getting a daughter married was a huge, huge stress on the resources. Come 1975, you have rationed foods. You had to go a ration shop. For the young generation today, a ration shop is something that they've not heard of. But yeah, I remember we had to stand in long queues. The truck would come. We would run, with money and with those bags to get our share of the grocery items. So that was stressful. Kab aayega? You have to keep on lookout. Okay, when is the truck going to come, and when you have to run for it? Look at the 1985s. I mean, I remember when we had applied for telephone after 2 years, we went in the telephone department to say that kab aayega, and that man said, 5 साल तक पूछने भी मत आना कि टेलीफोन कब आएगा. So I mean, that was the situation. And for the youngsters today, I know this it might sound like Baba Adam ka zamana, but yeah, that was the situation. And it's delightful to see how technology, how advancements have changed our country to what we are today. 1991 economic liberalization, the industries from outside could come to India, and the small businesses, it was a stressful time for them, because they did not know whether they could survive. the economic strength of the MNCs. And that was a very, very tough time for our small players in the country. It was a matter of life and death. It was a matter of whether your business will survive or not. Come the 2000, we remember the Y2K, the people in IT, how there were so many IT jobs in Y2K. And it was like, pata nahi whether we will have money in our bank account, on 1st January 2000, whether we will have money in our bank account, will the flights be colliding with each other? I mean, there was all kinds of things, scenarios that thing has created. Come 2008, the terror attacks, that period in our country's history where we never knew when a terror attack would happen. And that period where the trains, so many things were impacted. And every time, after for quite a long time, I remember getting into a train, I would just keep praying, that I hope there's nothing in train today. I hope there are no loved ones in who could be a victim of such attacks. Come 2020, working the pandemic challenge. I mean, that was a period we never ever thought would happen in the world, where everybody was home and the roads were empty, and how it brought challenge to our work. 2024, today, the challenge is about whether I will have work because of AI, whether my work will be gone. So, I mean, stress, many people think that it is probably of today's time, but no, if you look at history, stress has been always been there. And how we deal with stress is, that kind of a balance we are talking about, where it is, if you look at the musical instruments, if that enough stress is not there, you will not get sound. And if it is too stressed, if it is too stretched, actually the string will break. So there's so you it's like, ज़्यादा करूँ कम करूँ, if the stress is more, it will probably I'll break out, I'll break down. If the stress is too less, then probably I may not perform. So today I would like to know, in terms of the negative aspect, where do you rate yourself on a level of 0 to 10? Where do you think is your stress level right now? You could type it in the chat box so that I can see that. Where do you think, from 0 to 10 being very stressful, 0 being no stress all, I'm an absolutely happy-go-lucky person. So I would be happy to see your entries into the chat box. Where do you think you are on a level of 0 to 10? So, okay, 5 to 6, 4, that's awesome. So, being aware of where I am right now is a big step in the journey of stress, because then you know how much of a handling does the stress require. And stress is something, that your handwriting is a beautiful window to stress. So, for example, the way you see, okay, I'm just trying to get this slide. So the way you see, President Obama before the presidency and after the presidency, the stress is, or you can see the stress clear in his graying hair. And similarly, so that's over a period of time we saw the graying of hair. But in handwriting, one can identify stress right now at this point in time as to how is stress playing up in your life. And you must have seen some of the participants, even the people who are watching the recording later on. You must have given a number to yourself, and that number is different for everyone because there are different kind of stress. There's acute, there's episodic, there's chronic. And I have a workshop scheduled this Sunday where I will be taking in detail about what are these different kind of stresses, what do they mean, how do they show up in life, whether it's good, whether it's bad. So those aspects is something that I would be covering up, and there's variety in everything. The same way there's variety in stress. I mean, if you know Baskin Robbins, there is 31 in the logo of Baskin Robbins. And I'm sure you can understand why I bring up brands, because I have lived with brands for 21 years. So there is a nice 31 in the logo of Baskin Robbins ice cream, because they say I have a different flavor for every day of the month. So that way there's variety everywhere. Same way there is different difference in the kind of stress that we encounter, and we'll get in depth of this in the masterclass that would be there soon. And why understanding stress is important? Because it has impact on our physical health, on our mental well-being, on our relationships, on our work. And stress that is unmanaged, that we kind of just live with, it is like that termite in the furniture, which over a period of time, if it's not addressed, you will find that it eats up your space, that it silently eats into your foundation. And as Dalai Lama said, that if a problem if a problem is fixable, if a situation is such that you can do something about it, there is no need to worry. If it's not fixable, then there is no help in worrying. So, I mean, of course, that's a very ideal state to be in, but uh, that's one perspective that is required to handle stress. And because stress shows up in different ways, uh, you will recognize nowadays that a lot of the diseases that are showing up, the modern diseases, as one could say, there is no plausible, uh, tangible reason that you can find that why this is showing up. I remember a friend of mine that she had a lot of what should I say, those not boils, but those itches on the skin, and her skin would turn red. We went to the doctor. I accompanied her. She was extremely, worried about that. She couldn't sit. It would always be like itching. And even when we were in meeting, she would feel like itching on that. So we went to the doctor, and the doctor said that, let's get this test done. Let's see if there's an allergy, if there's this, if there's that. We did. I mean, there are a lot of tests that were carried out. And you know what was the result? That there was nothing that showed up why the skin is showing up this kind of reaction. And the only thing that could be concluded was that it is a matter of stress. And many a times, you feel that doctors use it as an excuse that if nothing else is found, it is stress. But in this particular case, at least, there were some medicines given to tackle stress. There were some exercises, yoga and all. And in the next 20 days, that skin thing just went off. That's the impact of stress on our physical health, on our mental well-being. And uh, and while it is good to talk about stress, people do not understand stress very well. So you will realize young children, like school mein hai abhi, probably they are in kgs and kg, senior kg, junior kg, and they'll say aaj mere ko bahut stress hai. It's because they hear the word so often, they feel that if anything is not working out, it's stress. If anything I don't want to do, it's stress. So it's also being misused a lot, because there's a lot of talk on stress. While the talk is important, educating on what exactly is called a stress and what is not a stress, that distinction is very important. And we will be, as I said, we will be getting into the details of it in the workshop, that how we can distinguish between different kind of stress. uh, and we know how it impacts our mental well-being. If you're stressed, it is very difficult for you to get your work done, whether it is at home or whether it is your work. The more stressed you are, the less work you get accomplished. And of course, the relationships suffer. When you're stressed up, your kid will come and try to talk to you, and you will kind of blow off, because you're any which ways, it's all there in your mind. You cannot show it to your boss, so you end up showing, to the little ones who really cannot, who at that point in time are not in a position to really um, explain how it hurts them. So that's how, stress, while managing stress, why, rather than even before managing, why understanding stress is very important, which is what we will be doing on Sunday. And so what I would like to introduce in this at least talk is that I would want you to take back at least one activity that can help you deal with stress. So, graphotherapy, so just a little distinction about graphology and graphotherapy. Graphology is the study of handwriting, is the study of what you write. Like, for example, if I am copying this, graphotherapy is like physiotherapy for your mind. So if I'm writing this, so what I'm writing, graphotherapy is like physiotherapy for your mind, is the conscious mind. I'm consciously reading the letters and I'm writing it. But how I am writing the letter G, how I'm writing the letter R, how I'm writing the letter A, all that is my subconscious mind. And it is the subconscious mind that shows up in the way I write. And that's why handwriting analysis helps us to understand what is going on here, because handwriting is brain writing. So that's the handwriting analysis aspect, graphology. Graphotherapy is how you do deliberate writing, of how you bring certain changes in your writing so that the programming here also changes. It's not an instantaneous thing. It takes practice, it takes dedication, it takes guidance to get that change done. So that's what graphotherapy is about. So today I'll be taking a very, very, very basic so it's a graphotherapy, but it's not deliberate writing. It's utilizing your pen and paper to really kind of address some portion of stress today. So if you all are ready, I would really like you to take your paper and pen and just type in the chat box that you are ready with your paper and pen. Just type a yes if you're ready with your paper and pen. For those who are not ready, you could just probably quickly go and grab a paper and pen. Okay. Thank you for replying. And I hope for the others who probably did not have, it is ready now. And now I would want you to close your eyes, to just close your eyes. Keep your paper pen ready, but close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out through your mouth. Now connect with your body. Just see your body. And I want you to bring an incident in front of you, an incident that was very, very stressful for you. It could be a recent past, or it could be something that has really traumatized you. You know, there are at times incidents that happen in childhood that even today, when you think about it, the body shivers. And when you think about that incident, what is a right incident is something that your body shows a reaction. So think about an incident or a person with whom there is a lot of conflict going on right now. Bring that incident on person in front of you. If it's an incident, see that incident happening right in front of your eyes right now. If it's a person, bring that person in front of you. And what about that whatever you're seeing in front of you is stressful? Feel that stress in your body. Feel that anger, helplessness, shame, sadness, whatever it is. Bring that feeling in your body. Let your body feel that. And now I want you to open your eyes. Take the pen. If you are a lefty, take the pen in your left hand. If you are a righty, take the pen in your right hand, whichever is your dominant hand, and just start scribbling with all the anger, frustration, helplessness that you have. Just start scribbling. Just scribble, scribble, scribble. Anything, anything. Just keep scribbling. Bring the hurt in front of you, the conflict. how that upsets you, how that impacts your productivity, how that impacts you from being your authentic self, how it makes you feel pressurized. So scribble it out, scribble, just scribble on the paper. I hope you have a support, otherwise the paper will tear off. So keep a support and keep scribbling. You can keep your eyes open or you can keep your eyes closed, whichever way is comfortable for you. But keep scribbling, scribbling, scribbling. Bring that emotion, that person in front of you, that conflicting situation in front of you, and scribble. And now I want you to shift the pen. If you're holding the pen in right hand, shift the pen to left hand. And if you're holding the pen in left hand, shift the pen to right hand. And now continue scribbling. So with your dormant hand, now scribble on the same page. Just scribble and tell your mind that I release all the whatever is my negative emotion. I just let it go. It is all coming out on the paper from my conscious mind, from my unconscious mind. I just want to let go of this helplessness, anger. So scribble with your dormant hand. So, like I'm a righty, if I was doing the exercise with you, I would now start scribbling with my left hand. You can keep your eyes closed or open, but just scribble, scribble, scribble. For those of you who are watching the recording, do the exercise because the result is in the work you do. Knowledge आज बहुत है. You search on internet, you will find a lot of knowledge. But knowledge is not useful till the time you apply. So just scribble with your left hand. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Let all that anger come out from your mind to the paper. And now shift it back to your right hand, to your dominant hand, and scribble. And as you scribble, talk to your mind that anything or any person, nobody has that power on me that I become helpless, that I feel anger. So just keep scribbling and release the emotion, the negative emotion that is there. And now I would want you to open your eyes if they're closed and look at the paper. What do you see on the paper? Would anybody unmute and share? What do they see on paper? Closely look at the paper. What is it that you see there?
Negative emotions.
Yeah, a lot of scribbling over there.
Yeah, even if I don't have a paper in my mind now, because I'm today because my I had I had sinus attack, and I had
Mm.
very
So great. So look at that. Take the
yeah.
paper in front of you. Take the paper in front of you and just look at it. That does it look good? Does it look artistic? Something that you would like to frame in the house? Not really. This is all the negativity that is currently there. And now, very lovingly, look at the paper and say it aloud to yourself. Thank you for the experience. I release you with love. Say it again. Thank you for the experience. I release you with love. And now tear the paper lovingly. Tear it once, twice, till the time they become such small pieces. Tear the paper and continue saying, thank you for the experience. I release you with love. And right now, keep it aside. But later on, once the session is over, you take that papers into your wherever is your garbage area or discarding area. And while putting it again, say, thank you for the experience. I release you with love. Whenever you feel extremely stressed, helpless, this is one simple exercise that you can do. Many times people feel very stressed about doing a thought journal because they have to write, and there is so much resistance because of the negative emotion. The body becomes frozen at times. So if journaling is tough at that point in time, then this scribbling exercise can come in very, very handy. So, Shavanaji, if you have done the exercise, or somebody could share how it felt doing this, like if your stress level was whatever, at what level is the stress now?
Yeah, I think I can say it has decreased to half. Maybe I'm at
Yeah,
3 or something like that.
yes. And how did you find this exercise?
Yeah, it's very nice. And when I saw the scribbling, almost like I could see a face like in that.
There is another kind of science which actually decodes the doodles, and yeah. So you at times wonder what is your subconscious mind creating in front of you. So you can share that with me on personal chat, and it would be interesting to decode that.
Yeah,
So,
but now I have cleared it, you said.
oh yes, of course, yes. It's good. It's told. So yeah, these are kind of exercises that we can do. It is a kind of physiotherapy for your mind. It's exercising your brain in a way that tension, that pressure. When do you do physiotherapy? When that, for example, if somebody is getting it done for the hand, frozen shoulder, it's because that part of the body is not ready to move. It is not able to do the function it is supposed to. So that's when we call in a physiotherapist. So similarly, when you feel your mind is not doing the things it is supposed to, that's when graphotherapy comes in. So that's the beauty of graphotherapy. And today we just did a scribbling exercise, but there are a lot of deliberate strokes that help in doing a different kind of rewiring. Right now, we are just releasing the emotion. But when you want to go a step forward, okay, you are feeling a little better than before, but what next? You want to change the patterns of your brain because some patterns are not serving you. So when you have to change the patterns, some patterns that are not serving, graphotherapy really comes in handy. And it comes in handy because of an innate quality of our brain, which is known as neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change both its physical structure as well as its functional organization in response to training and experience, which can happen throughout the lifespan. So, what we are doing with graphotherapy is we are deliberately giving the brain that experience to do a certain kind of reprogramming inside the mind. And that is what we would also be doing in the workshop. So this is about stress, what different kinds, a small exercise which can anytime, it's a very easy exercise to do. At times, even if you do not have a paper and pen, you can do it on your palm. Of course, it might hurt the palm a little, but if nothing else, at least you can do that. So it's something you don't need any equipment. Just sitting there, you can do it. So that's what we discussed. And what aspect of brain is the scientific reason for the graphotherapy to work. So that's what we are covering up. Uh, a small introduction to the workshop that we would be conducting on this Sunday is a workshop on stress. How do we decode stress? Understanding stress. So today we just took it on surface level, but understanding in a deeper way, what is stress? What is your personal pattern of stress? The customized graphotherapy technique. So we will actually be checking in our own handwriting during the masterclass as to whether what kind of stress is there, what is the level of stress, and in what ways is it showing up. So that's the details about the masterclass. What you will learn is, as I said, stress indicators in your writing, reading your own stress level, how do you manage stress through handwriting and new perspective on stress? So that is what I love doing. I really have found a lot of value in graphotherapy, in the science of handwriting. I have myself come out of very difficult time of my life where handwriting was my buddy. And over the years, working with a lot of people, I can see that it works for everyone and anyone who is ready to devote that 20 minutes every day. A small a trailer of it, we will be seeing it in the masterclass. So thank you for your time and attention. Soul writing, which is my initiative to create a safe space for people to explore themselves, to understand themselves, to show up in an authentic way. And every stroke of your pen, deliberate stroke of your pen, is your way to personal transformation. And that's what I love doing every day. And opportunities like this to share the knowledge of handwriting is something that's always welcome and a delight. And that's it from my end. If you have some questions, please go ahead and ask.
So, how much time? Like, so because stress come recurrently.
Yeah.
So, is there a permanent solution for that?
We would be taking that up in the masterclass, Shabanaji. Whether do we really want a do we really want to remove stress for our life? Is that a good way to deal with it? So that's a very pertinent question, and that's something we will answer that in the masterclass. So I want you there in the masterclass, Shabanaji.
Yeah, I will definitely do that.
Yes. So in terms of the temporary uh, addressing the stress, this exercise can be handy, and there are some exercises that I would be taking even in the master class. They, so what I showed you today is just to manage the moment right now. Like when you're feeling overwhelmed and you just are at a loss, you can do this, and you will definitely find a shift in a matter of 2-3 minutes. But when you want to find a long-term solution to it, so then that's where I will share techniques in the masterclass. And addressing stress is important. Is removing stress ideal? That's something we will explore in the workshop.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, Neelam ji, Vasan ji, Rajvin, if you have any questions.
Okay. So I guess it's
Yeah,
it's something
everyone is
that's
clear. So we will all
very
be
well.
in a master class.
Okay. So have a great day ahead, and thank you for being present here. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
thank you so much, Preeti ji. Thank you, everyone. See you again.